What if success didn't always come from brilliance? What if sometimes it came from something far more simple? This counterintuitive idea has been around for millennia, and if you can master it, it could change everything. It's called inversion. I was first taught this concept by my therapist during a session about anxiety. She said, instead of thinking, how can I get what I want? Try asking yourself, how can I mess things up? I resisted at first because it seemed unproductive. But under her guidance, I began to see how it worked. At first, this seemed silly. How could I convince myself that I'd fail? That felt terrible. But the more I thought about it, the more freedom it gave me. Thinking about all the ways I could screw things up allowed me to break free of perfectionism. Why? Because the path to success isn't just about optimizing for peak performance or achieving goals. It's also about avoiding pitfalls. We often focus on what we should be doing, but less on what we should be avoiding. We want to believe we'll win the lottery. So we dream big, chase our goals. But how can we stop things from spinning off track? Let's explore 4 aspects of inversion: its power, ancient roots, everyday applications, and my own personal experience. When you invert, you consider what you don't want, and that clarity propels you toward what you do. It's what the billionaire investor Charlie Munger calls thinking backwards. When he buys a stock, he asks himself, how can I lose lots of money with this investment? He then structures his purchase to prevent that from happening. He says, all I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. That's not the way we normally think. Default setting is forward chasing. We set goals, build to-do lists, dream about the future. But inversion flips that. It starts with the end in mind, but not the happy ending. It's the scene right before that, the fork in the road where most people go left and take the path to mediocrity. That's the part we should be paying attention to. The root of inversion lies in the quiet corners of ancient philosophies. Stoicism practiced negative visualization, imagining misfortunes to prepare for the worst. Buddhist teachings stress letting go of desire, imagining the impermanence of all things. Taoists follow the via negativa, the path of not doing, of non-action. Even Jesus taught this parable in Matthew 7. Beware of false prophets who come disguised as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. They will destroy you. What does that sound like? A warning, a prevention, an anti-goal. Inversion forces us to see the downside of inaction and the upside of protection. It lets us concentrate our efforts, our attention, and our energy. In essence, it's about avoiding mistakes. And that, my friend, is a superpower. Let's bring it closer to home. Think of areas of your life where you're stuck. Your career, relationships, health, or wealth. Inversion reframes our approach to work. Rather than asking, what job do I want? We can ask, what job will burn me out? What role will drain my creativity? Take the lead. Choose roles that have the least potential for failure, for loss. One way to measure this is by considering how a setback in that job would impact you. If the consequences are minimal, the job carries minimal risk. In that case, the risk is worth taking. Relationships become simpler too. Instead of chasing love, ask yourself, what kind of partner will I resent? What kind of relationship will I despise? These questions aren't fun, but they offer clarity. They align our desires with what we truly value. After all, we can't avoid all conflict or incompatibility, but we can reduce the chances of contempt, resentment, disrespect. We can even ask what qualities will cause us to lose respect for ourselves. Then we naturally gravitate towards partners and relationships that stand the test of time. Health is another area where inversion can guide us. Instead of asking how to be fit, we can ask, how do people wreck their health? What habits take years off their life? By understanding the path to poor health, we can naturally gravitate towards wellness. Similarly, Financial security is about mitigating risks. As Buffett and Munger say, rule no 1, don't lose money. Rule no 2, don't forget rule number 1. Inversion helps us stick to this wisdom. It guides us away from risky ventures that could derail our financial stability. It's a principle applicable to every facet of life, a shield against unnecessary complications. Now let's talk about a time when this saved me personally. I was torn between 2 job offers, both exciting, both promising growth. But deep down, I knew one would lead to burnout. It was my gut feeling. Yet I kept rationalizing, focusing on the positives, the salary, the challenges, the learning curve. It took over a month of tossing and turning until I had a breakthrough. My therapist suggested I apply inversion. So I asked myself, which job will exhaust me in 6 months? The answer hit me like a ton of bricks. 1 job, 1 company, 1 commute. Suddenly, the choice became clear. It wasn't the most exciting option, but it was the safest. I took the job, and sure enough, I thrived. I felt challenged, but not overwhelmed. I returned to my work refreshed, ready to learn, to grow, to contribute. Why? Because I had used inversion. I'd identified the worst outcome and steered clear of it. In moments of uncertainty, rather than fixating on the best-case scenario, I now ask myself, what's the worst that can happen? It's a question that cuts through the noise, revealing the path of least resistance, the route to resilience, the route to success. Now I want to pass the baton to you. There's an old Chinese proverb that goes, watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. What area of your life needs this reframing? Where are you overthinking the solution instead of removing the obstacle? Here's a simple exercise. Grab a paper, write at the top, what would guaranteed failure look like? Choose one area of concern, health, money, mindset, etc. Spend a few minutes writing down all the ways you could fail, mess up, or make it worse. Be honest, be brutal. This is your anti-goal. Now invert it. Write, how can I achieve the opposite of that? For instance, if you're aiming for weight loss, instead of focusing on calories and workouts, which can be overwhelming, ask yourself, what will ruin my progress? What are the landmines? The answers might surprise you. It could be as simple as, don't skip meals. Or, don't stay up late. See how powerful this is? Inversion clears the fog. It allows us to find peace in simplicity. It's about shifting your perspective from striving for the best to guarding against the worst. And in doing so, we pave the way for success. As the Roman philosopher Seneca wisely put it, it's not that life is short, it's that we waste a lot of it. Inversion is a tool to reclaim that wasted time, to channel our energy into what truly matters. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about resilience, not brilliance. You don't need to figure out the perfect next step. You just need to avoid the worst one. That's wisdom. That's inversion. So comment below, which situation this week will you use this to protect your energy? Which risk will you avoid to ensure your success? Let's hold each other accountable. And if you're still with me, thank you. This is Wisdom Quest. Every day we don't just chase clarity, we remove confusion. Subscribe if you want to join the movement. Thanks for watching.